budging on that salary cap, and they are not budging on that revenue share percentage because they refuse to go into $400-500 million in debt for these WNBA players. The offer is plain and simple. You either sign it or we lock out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wall has finally been hit. For months, we have watched the WNBA Players Association operate with a level of unmitigated gall and sheer delusion that defies all logic. We have watched them post poetry on Instagram. We have watched them scream into their cell phones from the front seats of their cars. We have watched them demand 30% of the gross revenue from a league that has literally bled money for 3 straight decades. But today, the adults have officially entered the room, and they have locked the door behind them. The WNBA owners have responded to the union's latest demands, and their answer is not just a no, it is a resounding, disrespectful, table-shaking, absolutely not. The owners have drawn a line in the sand, and they are holding their ground. They are keeping the salary cap offer firmly planted at $5.65 million. They are keeping the revenue share hard capped at 15%. And they have made it crystal clear to Breanna Stewart, Nneka Ogwumike, and the rest of the union leadership, you either take this historic raise or we shut the entire league down. We lock the doors, we cancel the season. You have to understand the level of arrogance that led the union to this point. They submitted a proposal asking for a $9.5 million salary cap and a 25 to 27.5% cut of the shared revenue. They presented this as if they were doing the owners a favor, but the owners took one look at that math and realized something terrifying. If they agreed to the union's demands, the league would plunge $400 to $500 million into debt over the lifetime of the agreement. $500 million. The union isn't asking for a raise, they are asking for a corporate execution. And here is the absolute most embarrassing part of this entire saga. It is a detail so humiliating that if I were the president of the players' union, I would resign out of sheer shame. The union sent this ridiculous proposal back in late December, and for 6 weeks, the league ignored them. 6 weeks of silence. No counteroffer, no phone calls, and when they finally met face-to-face on February 2nd over Zoom, the owners delivered the ultimate slap in the face.
By the union in late December. During this meeting, which included WNBPA's executive committee as well as league officials and owners over Zoom and in person, players were told by members of the league's labor relations committee that they had not read the union's proposal, according to a source. Now, with them not responding was their response. They've let it.
Did you hear that? The owners looked the union representatives dead in the eye and said, "We didn't even read your proposal." They didn't read it. Why? Because it was garbage. Because it was so fundamentally detached from financial reality that it wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. When you ask a business that is already losing $50 million a year to take on another $400 million in debt so you can buy a nicer house, the business doesn't negotiate with you. They ignore you. Not responding was the response. That is corporate speak for stop wasting our time. The union leadership, these veterans who think they are financial geniuses, seem to have absolutely no understanding of how their own league is structured. They keep screaming, "Give us 30% of the TV money," as if Kathy Engelbert has a giant Scrooge McDuck vault full of cash in her office. But the host breaks down the actual corporate structure of the WNBA, and it proves exactly why the players' demands are mathematically impossible.
It says, here it says the WNBA ownership structure is muddled, with 42% of the league being controlled by the 30 NBA owners, 42% controlled by WNBA owners, and the remaining 16% belonging to an outside group of
Listen to me, and listen to me well. The WNBA owners cannot give the players 30% of the gross revenue, because the WNBA owners do not own 100% of the WNBA. 42% of this league belongs to the NBA owners, the billionaires who have been bailing this league out since 1997. Another 16% belongs to private equity investors from a massive capital raise in 2022. By the time the actual WNBA team owners get their slice of the pie, there is barely enough left to pay for the arenas, the marketing, the staff, and the current salaries. The union is asking for a slice of a pie that the owners legally cannot give them. You cannot force an outside investor to hand over their equity. You cannot force Adam Silver and the NBA owners to take a massive loss just because Natasha Cloud is having a temper tantrum. It is basic economics, and the union is failing the test miserably. And let's talk about the so-called leverage. the union thought they had. For the last few months, the veterans of this league have been parading around, playing in the Unrivaled 3-on-3 league. They thought they were being so smart. They thought, we will go play in this other league. We will show the WNBA that we don't need them, and that will force the owners to cave. But the owners are billionaires. Billionaires read data, and the data from Unrivaled has been an absolute disaster for the players' negotiating position.
Y'all leverage, but in all actuality, it's backfire because it's going to show the ratings have sucked. They suck. Nobody's watching it. So all of this stuff has, the way y'all went about it has kind of backfired on y'all. I know y'all thought Unrivaled was leverage. Granted, it is more money for y'all, and that's cool. That's cool, but when you tried to leverage that league against the WNBA, and the WNBA are seeing the ratings reports and they are absolutely trash, that does not bode well for you players because it's actually...
The ratings are trash. Nobody is watching Unrivaled. The owners are sitting in their boardrooms, looking at the viewership numbers for Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, and Chelsea Gray, playing without Caitlin Clark, and the numbers are microscopic. The owners are realizing, wait a minute, these veterans aren't the draw. These veterans don't bring in the money. The host of the video drops a statistic that should be tattooed on the forehead of every union negotiator. When Caitlin Clark got hurt last season, the WNBA viewership dropped by 55%. 55% of the audience vanished the second the girl from Iowa stepped off the court. The owners know this. They know that this is a majority Caitlin Clark league, and they are refusing to bankrupt their franchises to pay veterans who cannot draw a crowd of 1,000 people to a 3-on-3 game in Miami. This entire situation is a tragedy of ego. The owners actually made concessions. They agreed to pay for player housing. They agreed to increase veteran bonuses. They put a 15% revenue share on the table, which is a massive win for a league that has never been profitable. But the veterans' egos are so inflated, their jealousy of the Caitlin Clark economy is so toxic that they are willing to burn the entire house down just to prove a point. They are caught in a crossfire of their own making, and the casualty is going to be Caitlin Clark's sophomore season. If the union does not fold, and fold immediately, we are heading for a lockout. The owners are not bluffing. They have the expansion draft, the collegiate draft, and free agency all piling up. Time has run out. The owners have pushed their chips to the center of the table and said, call to the WNBPA. Your bluff has been called. Your leverage has been exposed as a fraud. The owners didn't even respect your proposal enough to read it. It is time to swallow your pride. Sign the $5.65 million salary cap. Take your free housing and get back on the basketball court. Because if you force a lockout and the Caitlin Clark momentum dies, the fans will never forgive you, and the money you are fighting over will disappear forever. The choice is yours. Play ball or pack your bags.